Hey everyone, welcome to the Pocket Yogi. Today's session is going to be all about strengthening your core and incorporating these movements in your yoga practice. Today's practice is going to be slightly strenuous, so if you're an absolute beginner, feel free to take a break in between the movements. We'll begin in an extended child's pose with your hips resting on your heels, your arms extended out in front of you. Knees widely out, open on the sides. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. With a breath out through your mouth, relaxing your hips, your forehead, and your chest on the mat. Inhale, come up to a tabletop position for a few rounds of cat-cow. Your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, core slightly engaged, maintaining a flat back. Inhale, arching your back, chest forward, gazing up. Exhale, curving your back, shoulder blades away from each other, chin to the chest. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, curving from the tailbone up, pressing your navel towards your spine in a cat pose. Moving at your own pace. Back to the tabletop. Now take a deep breath in. With an exhale, open your right knee to the side, externally rotating your right hip and bring it back to the center. 5 rounds of these without adding a twist and maintaining a neutral back. Switching sides, now clamshells on the left. Make sure your chest is still facing the mat instead of twisting out to the left with each movement. Back to the tabletop, tucking your toes, lifting your hips up, pressing through your palms into your first downward facing dog. Adding gentle stretches to your hamstrings by coming onto your tiptoes and bringing your heels down. Inhale, step forward into half fold, hands on your shins. Exhale, fold forward, keeping your knees generously bent. Staying here for one long breath, keeping your head heavy. Inhale, rising up, stretching all the way to the top. Exhale, palms at the heart center. Now let's do 5 rounds of Suryanamaskars with a little variation focused on your core work for each of them. Inhale, raising your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Palms on the mat, holding your breath, stepping back into a plank. Staying here for 3 long breaths in an active plank. Exhale as you slowly lower down on the mat, untuck your toes, breathing in, raising your torso into a cobra. Exhale, stepping back into the downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting forward into a plank. And now let's do 20 rounds of alternating mountain climbers on each side. Maintaining a tight core as you touch your knee to the opposite tricep. shifting back into the down dog to connect back with your breath. Inhale, stepping forward into a half fold. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rising up, palms touching. Exhale, palms at the heart center. Taking a moment to connect back, and let's get ready for round 2. Inhale, raising your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up, maintaining a flat back. Palms on the mat, stepping back into a plank. And we hold this plank for 10 breaths. Make sure you're pressing your palms away from the mat, your back in a dome-like structure. Your shoulder blades are pointing away from each other. Maybe shift slightly forward and back, staying active in the pose. Exhale as you lower down with intention, with your belly on the mat, toes untucked. Inhale, rising up into a cobra. Exhale, tucking your toes back to the downward dog. 2 long breaths here. Inhale, stepping forward into a half fold, hands on your knees or your shins. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rising up, arms overhead. Exhale, palms at the heart center. Let's go for round 3 of Suryanamaskar. Inhale, raising your arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up into a half fold. Palms on the mat, step back into a plank. Exhale as you slowly lower down. Belly on the mat. This time, let's do a locust. So interlock your fingers behind you as you raise your torso and your thighs off the mat into a locust pose. Scooping those shoulder blades together and keeping your legs off the mat. Exhale, palms on the mat, stepping back into the down dog. Now, as you shift forward into a plank, let's do 10 rounds each of X plank. Inhale as you lift your hip and touch your left ankle with your right palm. Come back to the plank and alternate on the other side. Initially, you might find this a little unnatural or maybe a little difficult to begin with. It's okay if you cannot reach your ankle. Just make sure that you're focusing on your breath. Staying for 3 long breaths in the down dog pose to connect back with your breath. When you're ready, inhale, step forward into a half fold. Exhale, fold forward, letting your head hang heavy, adding a gentle stretch to your hamstrings. Inhale, raising your arms. Exhale, palms at the heart center. Let's take 2 big breaths here. Two more Suryanamaskars to go. Inhale, raising your arms. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up, palms on the mat, step back into a plank. Exhale as you slowly lower down. Toes untucked. Inhale, interlock your fingers behind you and raising your legs off into a locus. Engaging your core to lift your knees off the mat. Lower down. Now place your forearms on the mat, keeping your toes tucked. Exhale as you lift your hips up into a dolphin pose. Make adjustments wherever necessary. See if you can bring your toes closer to your palms. Keeping your core engaged as you press your torso away from your arms. This might feel a little strenuous to you, so take a break or step back if you feel yourself out of breath. Exhale, tiptoeing your legs back, lowering down on the mat. Exhale, palms on the mat, stepping back into the down dog. Connecting back with the breath. Inhale, step forward, come halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, raising your arms. Exhale, palms at the heart center. One last round of Suryanamaskar to go. Inhale, raising your arms, stretching all the way up. Exhale, hinging from your hips, fold forward. Inhale, come halfway up, maintaining a flat back. Palms on the mat, step back into a plank, resting on the balls of your feet. Exhale as you slowly lower down with intention with your belly on the mat. Toes untucked, inhale, raising your torso into a cobra. Exhale, tucking your toes, stepping back into the downward facing dog. Now shifting forward very slightly, place your left forearm on the mat, your fingers pointing to the right. Shifting to the left for a side elbow plank. Keeping your legs stacked on top of each other, your arms raised or on your side. Switching sides, elbow plank on the right. Keeping your left leg stacked on top of your right, and make sure your hip is raised enough to be in one line. Lifting your forearms back to the down dog. One deep breath in and a deep breath out. Inhale, step forward into a half fold. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rising up, arms overhead. Exhale, palms at the heart center. Now slowly lower down, keeping your knees bent, bringing them closer to your chest. You're seated on your hips and staying balanced on your tiptoes. Preparing for a boat pose. Taking a deep breath in and leaning back just a little, balancing on your sit bones. Extending your legs out, keeping them straight or keeping your knees bent. Your arms extended out in front of you. Maintaining a tight core to stay balanced in the pose. Exhale, lower your legs down, toes on the mat. We'll do one more round of the boat with a little variation of adding boat crunches, 10 on each side. So holding on to your knees, taking a deep breath in, leaning back just a little, keeping your right knee bent, straighten out your left leg, and as you do in crunches, alternate between your left and your right. Stay balanced on your sit bones and bring your bent knee closer to your chest. Exhale, lean forward and lower your legs down. From here, lie all the way down on your back. We'll do 20 counts of leg raises. Your palms are facing down on the mat. Legs extended out in front of you. Make sure your lower back is on the mat. Using your core, inhale, raising your leg. With an exhale, slowly lowering them down. Let's do 10 rounds of these and take a short break. Make sure you're tightening up that core and pressing your entire back on the mat. And once we're done with the last round, bending your knees, bringing them closer to your chest, hugging your knees, hugging yourself, rocking from side to side if you feel like it. And that's the end of our session today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.